is Prince Asiel Ben Israel. Would you come up, Nasik? Struck a truce in the gang-related killings. And Nasik, Asiel Ben Israel, and Brother Gator, and these brothers, I know that they are Hebrew Israelites. Come on up, brothers, please. Have been working with Nasik, Asiel Ben Israel, and brother and others. Brother Fontaine, from the Black Disciples. Where's brother? He's on his way. These brothers have been working to bring about a truce. And I think they deserve our gratitude. Nasik, Asiel Ben Israel, Brother Gator, Brother Fontaine. See, what the enemy doesn't understand is that God is raising an army in the streets. And these young men are generals. They're warriors and teachers. And they're tired of killing each other. And they developed a button. There it is. And on this button they have all the symbols that they wore under. Crescent, the five-pointed star, the six-pointed star of David. So today we brought together my Hebrew Israelite brother from the nation of Israel with the nation of Islam. These are Hebrews and Muslims that love each other. Yes, sir. I don't know about the Jews over there now and the Muslims, they don't get along. But these, yes, sir, we are one. Yes, sir. And so the six-pointed star of David, which is a great symbol, and isosceles, two equilateral triangles, one up, one down, six sides, 6 points, six stars. 6 angles, and every angle 60 degrees. Beautiful symbol. The five-pointed star of the nation of Islam. Beautiful symbol. And the crescent. But these are symbols. All they do is represent a great truth. You are not a symbol. You're a real thing. So we shouldn't let the symbols divide, but the symbols were designed to guide the real people of God into divine.
Appreciated that it was enough of an urgent issue that she's prepared to invest in all of our young people across the board. Let me ask you, Gator, you wanted to speak to it?
Crime bill appears to make sense, but it don't make sense. I'm saying it because I'm a part of the element that was once locked away. It's still a part of a major form that they're trying to lock the African-American youth away. We got to understand that the penitentiary is a business, and it's about locking us up. No African-American will have a soap contract, a sheet contract, or a polish contract for the floors that they're going to have them brothers polishing. What I'm saying is that everybody asking for funds to be brought. Let's think about the funds that the Justice Department is paying for an initiative that's going to do biochemical and genetic testing on the African-American youth. I come to find out since I've been here, they got 11,000 subjects in Chicago alone that they tested on, Reverend Jackson. Okay? If one of the main solutions that we all got to deal with, please let's not make violence a health issue, because it's going to bring about experimentation without explanation. Okay? I want to say that. Secondly, I agree with Al Sharpton and Jesse. I'm glad that you brought everybody to the table. Because the thing that's been working, that I know that's working, is the truth conferences that's happening in every one of these cities. Okay? I know that we got a track record in Chicago for bringing the violence down and the crime down, and we didn't have no anti-crime bill, and we didn't have no budget. But we cared enough to stop the killing amongst our children, and this is coming from brothers that's locked up in the penitentiaries across the country. Okay? Brothers that's locked up for 100 years. Larry Hoover locked for 100 years. Everybody say it was wrong for us trying to get the brother out the penitentiary. We was trying to do it because his time was up. There's mass murders been put back on the streets in this community that ain't being monitored. They go to the board one time. This man been to the board 12 times. They want to keep him there because he decided to tell them to stop killing, tell them to stop being about the drugs, tell them register to vote, honor the women and honor the children. Then we have this government saying it's right to free a guy that I read about that's spied for somebody else against our country. So we got to be real. And the crime. Just deal with crime in its totality, regardless of who it is. Whether it's a sitting president or a president who once was sitting. Okay? Because it's affecting all of us. How can we tell our children that it's wrong to be about crime and get mad at the rappers? This rap cut, damn, it feel good to be a gangster. I didn't understand until I saw the video. When they showed why they say it was down to feel a gangster, when they see that Nixon picked somebody to give him a pardon, when they see how Bush gave everybody a pardon from the Iran gate or whatever gate it was, and when they saw how they used their military mafia to go and move on other countries to either move their dope this way or that way, well, we got to understand the United States government has been involved in distribution of drugs all through the fleet. But until they took Panama, they got into the cultivation end of the drug industry. Okay, let's be real about this, okay, since they all here, because I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back and tell my son, say no to dope, when the rap on the street is, if you're going to sell dope, let it be for national security, because if you get a kilo from Arbor North and that crew, you get a pardon. If you get from anybody else, you get 60-30. I'm just telling you what the real thing is. I'm just bringing it to you. Because, hey, because this is serious. And just, I want to say this here. Everybody that felt like they should have had an invitation, cool, but this is not a wedding. Okay? Everybody that feel that way. We got to, my whole move is this here. One solutions for everybody in here. Yeah. If you read somewhere that somebody is trying to talk about ending something, get there. That's right. Get there. We didn't get locked into, hey, we got to be invited here and got to be invited there. Be invited to a wedding. You did what I'm saying? Be invited to a funeral. I'm just saying, we got to push for those that want to stop this. I know it works. Okay? We fighting something in Chicago where the administration don't want us to be for peace. That has a history of destroying those that was for peace. The Black Panther Party wasn't no game. When the investigation was over and the smoke was cleared, it was the mayor, the state's attorney, and the FBI that murdered them that was feeding people. That's right. Okay? That's the same thing that's affecting us now. Thank you, the mayor's son, whatever that saying is, the fruit don't fall far from the tree. The state's attorney, same lick. They got the FBI, same lick, trying to give everybody this fear factor. Okay? Since we came together for peace, all the nations across the country, whether they Crips, Bloods, Gangster disciples, Black disciples, Stones, Cobras, Vice Lords, whatever it is, we have made a decrease in crime in Chicago. Murder rate went down, and check this out. This summer was so quiet, Reverend Jackson, they don't even mention a hot summer in '93. You see what I'm saying? I'm just saying what you doing is educating us because it gives us the strength to go back and tell the brothers in the street that this here is no joke this time. By them seeing it, those that can't see it in the penitentiary, we got my youth in prison outposts that have the right to take tapes in there and educate them to what is happening out here. I just feel that we got to stop playing, not saying that we playing here, because this is the first time I ever been to a conference like this here, where everybody is here, where everybody is a controversial person. You follow what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. You know, to make it right. That's what I'm saying. Hey, that's what I'm saying. But Surgeon General, when you asked about the legalization of the drugs, what it did really was put the real attention on this anti-crime bill. When you look through the bill, there is no money being spent to stop drugs from coming in the country. They can stop a cigar from getting in from Cuba. You see what I'm saying? I'm just glad. I'm just landing. We're seeing where every time it come around for an election, they get elected with putting the fear factor on the people, and we feel the effect. When they say in Illinois, Edgar wants to build a penitentiary for $60 million. Oh yeah, that's after you get through with the sheet contract. What I'm saying, and then the same children that wanted to lock up march with Push and C-Buck and Inner City Youth Foundation and all the other organizations, NAACP, marched around City Hall to make the teachers bite the bullet to go back to school. Then my son say, why they spending $60 million when they could have gave that to the education? He's 13 years old, man. You get what I'm saying? When they sat there around City Hall and realized that, hey, and I really do got to go to school since I'm marching around City Hall and ain't loitering. Marching around City Hall so I can go to school, and then they don't want to let me in school. In this crime bill, it's saying that if they arrest any of these youth and tag them with a tag of being an alleged gang member, that's right. When he get old enough to go to college, he won't be able to get a Pell Grant.
That's right.
Say that, Wally.
You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. Right. You know, and I agree with Congressman Mfumi. Let's go back. There's a government in the community. Okay. I don't mean to harp so much about Chicago, Illinois, but that's all I really know about. Okay? When you have a congressman like Merrill Reynolds pushing NAFTA because Rouse Cowles can say push NAFTA and then say it's wrong to be associated with gang members when he was caught up with Panici and Chicago Heights, the real mob. Let's be real about what's happening. Let's stop playing with this thing here, okay? Because I'm tired of electing people to office that's not reflecting their constituency out of fear of what somebody else that don't care about our community tell them what to do. Okay? They can get on the plane and fly around this country with Rosenkowski, you did what I'm saying?
Yes.
About the stamp move, and they moved on Hayes because he was late paying back a check.
Yes.
Teach.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm glad that we had this forum, because when I go back to Chicago and come back to D.C. for the summit here, and everywhere else they have a summit, we be able to stand up and say, hey, Jesse brought everybody here for everybody to be accountable for what they're about. Now, on that note, peace out.
Beating on the women's, it ain't gonna happen no more. Killing black brothers, it ain't gonna happen no more. We're tired of the killing. It's gonna stop, it will stop, and it must stop. I'm gonna let my brother from D.C. come up and address it further. Peace.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Brother Raheem Jenkins of the Righteous Men's Commission. On this day, a perfect day that God has granted us, from this day forward, we shall no longer consider ourselves as gangs. From New York to Los Angeles, California, from this day forward, we are now nations. It is nation time again in America. We seek your forgiveness for allowing your babies to lie in the street with that yellow tape draped around them. We seek your forgiveness, black woman, for not being present for those 6-week checkups, those PTA meetings, and for mistreating our most precious jewel, you, black woman. This day, we reconcile and atone before God.
Black man, I'd like to speak to my brothers out here from all the way from New York to Los Angeles. As I represent South Central Los Angeles on the West Coast, come 1,000 miles. I'd like to see some fences in there as we say on the West Coast. That's right. Black man, can you hear me? I can't hear you, black man. I can hear you at concerts. Black man, can you hear me for the spirit of the long-lived Million Man March? Black man, I come to you with much love. As we brothers on the West Coast made peace, me, myself, I was taking lives, but now I'm saving lives. And for all you guys out there, that's black man that knocked us, told us we was thugs, hoodlums, menace to society, that we have tattoos, wouldn't be nothing in life, you was wrong. Because we standing up here with not with this, or not with that, but with this. So black man, I say for you guys, out of my heart and before I go, young brothers, let me hear you say this one time. Keep the Million Man March alive, young brothers only. Go ahead.
In the name of God, the beneficent and most merciful, to all praises are all due. I'd like to greet you brothers with the greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum. My name is Brother Dawood Sherrills. I'm out of Jordan-Down Housing Project Developments in Watts, California. We're the one who established the peace treaty that took effect across the city, across the nation. And we bring forth our services from state to state. And we hoping that you brothers could challenge us and be successful as we was in establishing peace. Peace.
Thank you, brother. You got to tell them where you're from and come on. How you doing? My name is Percy Harris. I represent the west side of Los Angeles, California. I'd like to say to you young brothers out there, we standing right here to atone to everybody today. But what about tomorrow? When you go home, I challenge each and every one of y'all, tell the young brothers, put down the guns, put down the drugs, and pick up their lives. Peace. Everybody should be a man there. Empowerment! Empowerment! Empowerment!
But before I introduce him, I'd like you still to know that we have some members here from the Black Disciple Nation, and that's Minister Fontaine, and he's in the back, and Coleman Lawton, Michael Dortch. But Gator Bradley is a man on the cutting edge. Wallace Gator Bradley is a man who says it like it is, and Wallace Gator Bradley, who's united in peace for all of you, will tell you what he can do and what he is doing. Wallace Bradley, thank you.
Thanks, Brother Earl. Wallace Bradley, Gator who? I did 4 years in a day in Stateville Penitentiary. Former enforcer for, yeah, that's it, right? That's my mellow, Bill. You better get it back on, Bill. Yeah, they used to run like that, but then they ran from Moses too for a time, right? I did 4 years in a day in Stateville Penitentiary. Armed robbery, a former gang enforcer for the Gangster Disciples. Now I'm an advocate for growth and development up under the leadership of Larry Hoover, a brother that's been locked up for 20 years in Stateville Penitentiary. Like a lot of brothers that's in the penitentiaries across this nation, that's willing to do something positive since Reverend Jackson has told them they must be accountable to bring an end to the death and mayhem that's being played in our community. And these brothers that have 100 years in the penitentiary and that's in the leadership mode of these gangs are now telling their membership that they must adhere to the responsibility that Reverend Jackson and Ben Chavez and the likes have put upon them. So my enforcement now is to make sure that they do them things, that they honor the women on these streets, that they don't disrespect the children or abuse the children, that they don't rob and rape senior citizens, that they register and vote, and that they not be illiterate. So now I'm an enforcer of making sure that we become responsible citizens within the cities and across America. Secondly, I got executive clemency, Brother Bill, from the governor with the help of Jesse Jackson and Reverend Willie Burrell. So
I forgot to mention Brother Louis Farrakhan.
Right. Hey. But what we've been able to do with the help of Mr. Farrakhan, Prince Asiel, Ben Chavez, Reverend Jackson, we had a summit in Chicago where we brought 12 nations, because we no longer call them gangs. Nations have to assume responsibility. So since we enter this, how do you change their behavior pattern? You have to give them a responsibility. We represent in this United in Peace, which is the button that you see that I wear, over 310,000 gang members in city of Chicago. Blackstone Rangers, Vice Lords, Black Disciples, Gangster Disciples, Black Souls, El Rukins, Cobras. They all came together for peace October 25th last year in Cabrini Green, because we heard on public radio a young lady by the name of Marion Stamps say, "Where are the brothers?" Evidently they have no nuts and no guts to try to stop the killing of these mothers' babies on the streets. So we came together. And as of this day, there hasn't been a gang-related shooting or killing in Cabrini Green. I'm here. These are not my statistics. The crime rate in Chicago has came down 27% without the help of Mayor Daley, without the help of Egan. Okay? The murder rate this year compared to last year has came down 10% without their help. They're more fighting us for trying to bring peace about in our community. And that's what frightens me more than anything. When a lie can go around the country that says if you turn your lights out on your car, a gang member will kill you, and then we find out that the lie was sent by a fax from the Chicago FBI office. That's what you got to be afraid of. When you can see today that the same man that arrested Noriega pleads guilty and get a 2-year sentence for stealing $700,000, that's what you got to be worried about. Okay, when you see that the drugs being brought into our community by the CIA in the 90s, not in the 60s and the 70s, into our community, that's what we got to be worried about. But the change of behavior is for the youth to know, because we're going to send a tape back of this conference through the penitentiaries so that they know that there's people here that care if you're going to assume the accountability to change your life around for our people. Okay? I don't mean to scream. I just get heated. Okay?
Said it's been so good.
From the penitentiary, asking all the gang leaders to assume those responsibilities. It meant a lot because no longer can anybody that violate this peace hide in no jail cell, hide in no penitentiary, and it will not be covered by no gang member or nation leader on the streets. We turn them over to the community. We deal with the African American Patrolman League. We deal with the Alphas. We deal with the Alphas and all them all. We deal with the Masons. We deal with everybody. We deal with the churches. Any church can call Operation Push and say they got a problem on any corner, not just in Chicago, in the state of Illinois. Give us an address, and there won't be no problem. All right. I'm telling you, it's real. I'm not bragging. I'm just stating the fact. When it was a serial killer running loose in the Chatham area, which is the most influential area within the city of Chicago, Reverend Willie Burrell came to the brothers and sisters in the street to march around City Hall because the mayor didn't think it was important to have the superintendent of police come and address that problem. But they'll send the Secret Service and the CIA and the FBI and the XYZ, everybody to public housing to move on us as a race of people. And we marched around, we went to City Hall, and we got the superintendent, and he came. Make a long story short, there's no longer a serial killer running loose in the Chatham area. We came together and we got involved and decided to put down the bullets and pick up the ballot, and so we created 21st Century Vote, which is happening now. When Willie Burrell had us march around City Hall, the youth was serious because they was here trying to chase a killer out of their community, so therefore they found responsibility and acceptability to wanting to live. Okay? And they was hurt because as we sung, "We Shall Not Be Moved," they didn't know the words to the song. I'm not lying. But Reverend Burrell said, "Come to push that following side and you will learn it." And they came. When Reverend Jackson asked them to come and put down their guns and make their commitment to not be about drugs, he said, "Turn in no guns." When this man in New York, it's a good plan. Turn in your guns for toys, then you come to find out he don't turn in his gun. I'm just backing with what I ain't got no PhD, I got my GED from Stateville, but I did learn how to read. And one thing I learned from Reverend Jackson, they can't say he put nothing up because he put it in their face. I didn't say it, Washington Post said it. I say this because they raised me in Push, man. Okay? And what we have to give back is what Jesse and Jerry Butler gave me. Is a chance. I became Jerry Butler's campaign manager. They said, "But Jerry, he's a gangster." And Jerry said, "Well, he was a distributor of beer at that time." So he came back, he gave me my chance, made me a campaign manager, became his administrative assistant. And he ended up being, I'm coming with it now, Bill. I'm saying this to say, really, I'm saying this to say, and I'm going to cut it off. The same warden that locked me up and put me in the hole, my job was to go back and check him and investigate him and end up charging him $1,000 a day because he still had women in the penitentiaries in the jailhouse too, laying on the floor. Just saying about change. If we all just give, and make the one we give, we can give our way out of the solution instead of trying to build penitentiaries out of the solution. That's what I'm saying.
Therefore,
No more therefore. There's no more therefore.
So, I mean, basically, the first question is, how do you know this man? How do you know Noonie Ward?
Well, I've known Noonie Ward for over 15 years. He's a true inspiration to brothers and sisters who operate not only in the street level, but who have high aspirations. You know, hip-hop is about reaching your high aspirations. And Noonie Ward not only helped us get the first gang summit off the road in 1993, but since 1993, Noonie has been the most consistent street soldier. He's been the most consistent person that has utilized what he's learned on the streets of Chicago to help brothers and sisters come out of self-destruction. There can be no greater person that can relate to what's happening with young people today than somebody who's come up out of an experience like Noonie Ward.